being stuck in this place really has messed up my productivity. Being in alignment is so important. Being in a supportive environment is so important for your health. My health investments are being infringed upon. My educational and my purpose investments, my impact investments, my transformational investments, my betterment investments, all of my investments are being depreciated and not used because I'm not in an environment that is supportive. I'm not in an environment that is conducive to success. So if I don't show up on video, I don't show up, well, I show up sporadically. If the internet signal picks up, if I have the energy to, because I'm working through an adverse situation, so it requires more energy usage, and then I have to recover, right? Because it's not in alignment. The reason why is because there is all of the lies that have to be worked through for corporate sector. It's been a long time. First, it was negligence, right? When I was a corporate citizen, I was an entrepreneur. I had a holistic health practice, but there wasn't people interested in health. And so I was homeschooling and doing pop-up schoolings and lifestyle transitioning. I had my earring business. I was still, volunteering and mentoring and speaking engagements while being a single mom and with no place to stay. But this time, it's simply because they don't want to comply. It's like, it's not a want, this is business. This is not want, this is my life. Their court system is no better than the lower level business. Their higher level business is no better than the lower level business. And so they ignore my orders. They have hung up the phone on me. They have told me, if you're not in chamber, we don't accept any third parties, any outside phone calls. If you're not in our network. It's like, do you know what you're saying? And she hung up the phone. It was a judge's in-chamber assistant. And for DC Cool. And it is really a problem out here. The incompetence level, the improper training, the bias, the ignorance that have been experienced when it comes to real estate, the scams, the trends have all been a problem and a contribution to why I'm not in my house and why I'm in a place that I don't want to be, that I've overcome and that I have healed from. That is not my idea of health and longevity and productivity. That is not even my idea. That is not the technical data. That does not align with my moral compass nor my core values. And neither does incompetence. So when I'm doing a video, you have absolutely no idea the value and the time, the energy, the effort that goes into it. And it may not look like it to you right now, but I just woke up to maybe 40 minutes ago at 5:05. My alarm will be going off in a minute. I always get up before my alarm at 5:55. But things are not functional. And so dysfunction, I've also just been doing a lot of research. I've got to do tons of various angles of research, observation, and notes on climate, energy, environment, dysfunction, coding, so many areas, because this is a dysfunctional place. It's just a lot that I've been able to do when it comes to note taking and requirements. But yes, it makes me look bad as a contributing member. It makes me look bad because I'm amongst a non-productive environment, and so, or minimally productive, non-productive to minimally productive environment, and the productivity is still from a morally corrupt place, right? And it's just something to work through. The internet is like, I only was exhausted. I went to bed like midnight, which is pretty early for me, because I was exhausted of fighting with this internet signal. Every 3 seconds, the computer is disconnecting because I can't be inside of that toxic house. When I attempt to do that just to get work done, and I sacrifice my health just to sit in there, I always come back ill. I always come back pooping, like with diarrhea, because of the parasites and the conflict, the germs that reside in that environment. And then that sets me back again. I make the sacrifice for my health to get my work done, to sit in there, even with a mask on. That's just not a good thing. And then I come in here and then have to go back and forth with the signal, because it's far away from the toxic base. And there is a place that I could go, but then it will be compromising my moral values and my integrity. And those are my two choices for stability when it comes to housing my things, the things that I need to transport, my valuables that I need to have. I need a car, but in the car, I have to go through the same thing. I also have to go through educating law enforcement, corporate law enforcement, because they don't know their jurisdiction. They don't know their boundaries. They don't even know the law. But yet they walking around with guns, and they attempt to enforce their insecurities, not the law. They're abusing their position, their badge, the gun that is given to them for racism. They're using their position to cause harm to other people for no reason. Tell me how it don't make no damn sense. So I gotta educate them on the road, so they see sovereign. Oh, she's going against the system. The negative connotations that are associated with sovereignty, the ignorance around sovereignty, the stigma around sovereignty, without even a clear, comprehensive definition of what it actually and technically is. This is a whole shit show out here, and it's not safe to even walk down the street. It needs to get in order, and what's being screamed back to me is not a reflection. None of it. Not anywhere. All right, my alarm's going off. I've been injured numerous times working through injury. I'm telling you, it's been a lot. So if I haven't shown up here or in my productivity, there's a reason. I'm not that type of being. I'm not a delay. I'm not negligent. That's not my character. I'm not avoidant. I'm very much so straightforward, productive, and I do my work. I execute accurately and inaccurately, and it also has messed up my mood, my vibe. I'm on hyperledger. I can't be in my ledger mode because this is not getting written in my book. So I have to have a hyperledger type in order to not have this on my system. Hyperledger moves fast and it's like emotion, right? So it's a lower E, but it has to be on a hyper pace, a hyper vibration, a hyper frequency. You have to frequent the hyper in order to not have it settle in ledger. So you got to move fast. But that's where I am, and this is where and why I look like this. This is not my life. This is not my image. But my economics have been, my financial and economics have been on hold and messed up. The market is crazy and not responding to function. And there's so many different businesses that it conflicts the signal, and you got to bust through so much, and you have to over market, over advertise, over produce, over present yourself. There's so much disorder. There's so much work to do. I don't have time to be set back, right? It's not the time to be set back. It's the time to be in position. It's always time to be in position and in alignment and surrounded by reflections, surrounded by alignment, surrounded by those in alliance and in agreement with the work that must be done. Thank you for listening to my Rise and Reflect moment. And what have been some challenges that you've been overcoming? Are there any challenges being overcome? And then how so are you overcoming them and maintaining sanity?